In less than 24 hours, a new look union cabinet will be sworn in, with details of the much anticipated cabinet reshuffle now coming in. We'll bring you all of these details. A lot of it is still unfolding as I speak, but we'll try and bring you the latest news as we get it. All right, well, here's the big news, and it is a bit of a surprise. Salman Khurshid, presently the law minister with additional charge of minority affairs, is likely to take over as India's foreign minister from S.M. Krishna, who's been asked to work for the party. So Khurshid, possibly foreign minister, not Anand Sharma, as a lot of people had expected. Will there still be another twist? We are unclear about that. So there will be only one change in the big four, with Chidambaram, Sushil Kumar Shinde and A.K. Antony holding on to their portfolios of finance, home and defence. Salman Khurshid, quite possibly the next foreign minister of India. Well, sources say the 59-year-old Salman Khurshid has been brought in to give a balanced representation, since no one from North India is among the big four ministers. We're adding young blood to the cabinet will be 47-year-old Congress spokesperson and Lok Sabha MP from Ludhiana, Manish Tiwari. This is also news that's coming in. It's unclear what portfolio Manish Tiwari will get. NDTV's Sunil Prabhu has been tracking all of these developments and joins us now. Sunil, till just a little while earlier on, it seemed that Anand Sharma, the Commerce Minister, would be headed to South Block to take over the External Affairs Ministry. That's not the case. Salman Khurshid might just be the next foreign minister of this country.
That's right, Vishnu, and we'll have to wait for that official confirmation about it, but it seems likely that we'll have a new law minister. That's not clear, but Mr. Salman Khurshid is in the reckoning for the External Affairs portfolio. Everybody was hoping that Mr. Anand Sharma would, and it was the logical conclusion for him to take over as the External Affairs Minister, but what we have been made to understand from top government sources as well as from the Congress party is that Mr. Salman Khurshid, who has been a Minister of State for External Affairs way back in 1992 and has represented and in fact been part of that entire parliamentary resolution on Kashmir in 94, is possibly the surprise entrant into the Cabinet Committee on Security. He has, of course, been a gifted diplomat. He has been sent by the Prime Minister a number of times for various occasions, the last being, of course, to Afghanistan when one of the senior leaders had died.
But so, his elevation, assuming that that's what happens, comes at a time when he's in the middle of a massive controversy with regard to his NGO in Uttar Pradesh. Quite clearly, the top leadership of the Congress would have weighed that, but they've put that aside.
That's right, Vishnu. That would have definitely been back in their minds whether that is an aspect that could hurt his chances because he was struggling to survive, as many would put it. Many times he has made a number of mistakes and could have been seen as possibly one of those candidates to be removed. But nevertheless, I think the Congress President and the Prime Minister have reposed immense faith on Mr. Salman Khurshid, and we could see him as the new External Affairs Minister of this country.
Sunil, now there have been 4 ministers who have resigned. Ambika Soni, Mukul Vasnik, Subodh Kant Sahai, and one more minister, the Water Resources Minister. So who is replacing them?
Well, let's put it this way. If you look at the list, the cabinet list that we have, Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad remains where he is. Mr. Veerappa Moily, who had corporate affairs as well as power, is likely to lose power. It's going to go to a Minister of State with independent charge. There's a number of elevations at that level that is going to take place. Mr. Kamal Nath, as you are well aware, has been given the additional charge of parliamentary affairs. Mr. Kapil Sibal will remain with Telecom. He loses HRD. Who's going to be the new Information and Broadcasting Minister? That's something that we need to look at. There are a lot of changes that are expected because there's a lot of induction that is taking place, Vishnu. People like Purandeshwari are being elevated to Minister of State Independent Charge. Also, Mr. Palam Raju, who is the Minister of State for Defence, he is also being elevated. He is going to be given Science and Technology. Mr. Ashwini Kumar is also being elevated as Minister of State Independent Charge. So there are a number of these elevations that are taking place, and so many of these portfolios will be rationalized. Mr. Ajay Makkan is being made a cabinet minister. So it's in that background that all these portfolio changes will take place.
All right, what about the young faces that so many had spoken about? Manish Tiwari still very much a young leader as far as the Congress party is concerned. But what about the likes of Sachin Pilot and some of the others? Jyotiraditya Scindia, these were names doing the rounds. Are we likely to see some sort of elevation or shift?
Jyotiraditya Scindia is definitely being elevated as Minister of State Independent Charge, and as I said, you saw Manish Tiwari being elevated.
Yeah.
Jyoti Mirda is going to be the new entrant in. They are going to be relatively younger faces. There's somebody going to be there from the with Mr. Vincent Pala resigning. We're going to see what they call a face from the northeast, from Manipur, and not from Meghalaya, but either from Manipur or Mizoram. So there will be those changes. The list has been sent to the President's house. It's official now, and the only question is for us to unravel that whole list of names. We must remember it's nearly 85 ministers. There is a huge vacancy, and all these people need to be given their portfolios. So the calls from the Cabinet Secretariat have gone, and of course that official communique will be made once that swearing in takes place.
Okay, Sunil, just be with me. Let's just try and run through some of the points you've mentioned, because as you mentioned, lots of names. Palam Raju, Minister of State of Defence, presently is likely to go as Minister of State with independent charge for Science and Technology. Among the leaders who've already handed in their resignations, and this has been accepted by President Pranab Mukherjee, Ambika Soni, Mukul Vasnik, Subodh Kant Sahai, and Vincent Pala. Vincent Pala was the MOS of Water Resources. Kamal Nath will get additional charge of parliamentary affairs. Chiranjeevi will also be inducted into the cabinet. Is that right, Sunil? Any details on Chiranjeevi?
Yeah. It's not sure whether he'll be cabinet or Minister of State Independent Charge, but he will be given the tourism portfolio. So it's most likely that it will be a cabinet rank portfolio.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.